Okay, good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, so last class we were seeing the local responsiveness strategy, where global companies they are global companies, but whichever country they go and set up their subsidiaries, they set up their operations, they start adapting to the local conditions over there. They will adapt their products according to local needs. They will adapt their HR practices according to the local employees over there. They will follow the rules and regulations of the host government over there. So that is known as local responsiveness strategy. So the company is thinking global, but whichever country it goes to, it acts globally. According to that particular country, it will adapt itself well. So that is what global companies are following nowadays. That is local responsiveness strategy. In our country also we can see so many examples of MNCs who have adapted well to our ways. So this started mainly because of too many trade barriers. Earlier in 60s and 70s there was lot of trade barriers, trade restrictions to do exporting, importing, and all that. So to avoid all that, they started this company started adopting the local responsiveness strategy, which is basically they follow the local conditions, whichever country they have set up their operations. So mass customization of products, localization of HR practices, and following the business practices of that particular country, whichever country they have set up their operations. So localization strategy is also very successful strategy, which many global MNCs have found out that it's a very successful strategy. They can expand their international business this way by following the localization strategy, that is thinking global and acting local. But first, these MNCs, these global companies, before they decide to go for such kind of a strategy, localization strategy, they should know themselves that is their own company, and they should know where they are, that is the host country, what is the environment over there. They should understand that, and they should also know how to network in that particular host country, know who you are talking to. So knowing yourself means they should know their own mother company, what is the culture, what is the practices, what is the rules and regulations, everything about their own culture they should understand first. And this is all their own culture, their practices all comes about from their own founders, the people who have founded the MNC. So the leaders, they also influence the culture of the mother company. So history of the company also influences how your mother culture shapes up. So the mother culture is influenced by four universal dimensions, that is whether it is individualism or collectivism in the company's culture. So it depends upon the country's culture, whichever country it is located in. Whether the country's culture is individualistic, then company's culture also will be individualistic. And what is the kind of power distance, that is distance between boss and employees? How is the uncertainty avoidance among the people? Do they avoid risk and uncertainty, or do they like to face risk and uncertainty? Is it masculine, materialistic culture, or is it feminine culture which gives more values to family, caring for others? Is it focusing on long-term goals, or is it focusing on short-term goals? So collectivist culture, companies, countries, um companies which are following collectivist cultures. They have focus on long-term goals. They believe in being thrifty, that is not spending much. Savings habit is more among the collectivist culture people. So they focus on long-term goals. Like in Indians only, you see that we save for long-term. We save for a house. We save for children's education. We save for our children's marriage, etc. Opposite of that, you see in the individualistic cultures like developed countries like US, UK, and all, where they spend more. They even spend by borrowing. They believe in living on credit. That is, they believe on spending for today by spending their income from tomorrow. So these are the dimensions we have to see the MNCs when they want to understand what kind of diversity they have to face. So seven tensions these MNCs face when they are trying to understand different cultures. So one is universalism versus particularism. Universalism you will see in individualistic cultures like in developed countries like UK, USA, Canada, where they focus more on rules, laws, procedure, contract. They focus more on all that. Whereas particularism culture you see in collectivist culture like our Asian countries, where they give more importance to values, to relationship, to marriage. They give more importance. So that tension is there. Whether to go for universalism or particularism, the MNC company has to decide. Then whether to analyze the problem as a whole or whether to, that is integration, or whether to break the problem into pieces and then analyze it. So that is also a choice the MNC has to make. So it depends on whether the managers are good in breaking the problem into pieces and then solving it, or are they good in integrating the problem, looking at the problem as a whole and then solving it. So it depends on their managers. Then individualism versus communitarianism. Individualism means more focus on individual goals, individual achievements. That is what we see in this advanced countries. Communitarianism we see in our collectivist countries, like our Asian countries, where community, family, group, association, family relationships, work relationships are all given more importance. So MNC has to choose between these two, whether they have to be inner directed or outer directed. Inner directed means should the managers be guided by their inner standards, or should they be guided by outside trends, outside signals which are there in the market, outside demands for product, or should they be guided by the outside environment? So that is a choice the MNC has to make. Sequential versus synchronic view of time. So how the MNC should consider the time? Should the managers get the things done quickly in spite of it having a negative impact, like sequential effect, like which we see in advanced countries, which we see in individualistic countries, where they like to get things done quickly. They have deadlines for everything, and you have to meet the deadline. So if you don't meet the deadline, then it is a big punishment. So they like to have timelines for all their work, or to go for synchronic view of time. That is to take things in a serial order, coordinate it, and then to get the things done in a proper serial order so that the negative impact is reduced, which is seen in collectivist countries. Like in our Asian countries, we like to get the things done step by step, and we take our own time in completing the jobs. deadlines are not important for us. It's not very like some companies, yes, it is important. Deadlines which are based on US culture or UK culture, but some companies, by and large, they like to get the work done. 1 minute, I'll just put it on battery mode. So some countries they follow the synchronic view of time. That is, they consider time in a synchronic manner. They like the things to be done one after the other. So whether to consider achievements of individuals or whether to judge the individuals by their status. So in individualistic countries, which is the USA, UK, Canada, all those developed countries, you see that they give more importance to individuals. They give more importance to individual achievements. So, should it be like that, or should they consider the status of individuals? Status of individuals is considered in collectivist countries like the Asian countries, India, China, Russia, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore. All these countries they follow the collectivist culture, so they focus more on the status of the individual. They focus more on teamwork. They focus more on group, family ties, so work relationships. So individual importance or achievements are not given much importance in the collectivist cultures. Then whether to consider all employees equal or whether to consider their hierarchical levels, especially the junior employees, the subordinates. Should they be all treated as equals or should we consider their hierarchical position? So again you see equality in the individualistic culture, which is in our advanced countries where all employees are considered equal. Like I told you, the boss and the employee, they are like friends. They call each other by names. They go together for lunch, tea, coffee, etc. So its boss is more like a team member. Whereas in collectivist cultures, the hierarchical position of the person is given more importance. So, boss in collectivist cultures is kept at a respectful distance. He is spoken to respectfully, and you don't allow him, you don't mingle him with him much, like how you will mingle with your colleagues. You will keep your boss at a respectful distance. So you will consider his position and give importance to his hierarchical position. So these are some choices, tensions, which the MNCs have to go make a choice when they are going for the local responsiveness strategy. So the countries which are following the universalist cultures, like the advanced countries, they give more importance to rules, procedures, principles, to contracts, systems. They give more importance to all that. They don't give importance to people. Whereas particularistic cultures, they give more importance to people. Rule is not important, procedure is not important, system is not important, contract is not important in particularistic cultures. That is the collectivist cultures, which is our Asian countries. So here in particularistic culture, people is more important, relationships are more important, work relationships, teamwork is more important. So that is the difference, the choice the MNC has to make when it goes for the local responsiveness strategy. So if you see in European countries, they adapt to the situation. Whatever is the situation, they will adapt to that, they will change according to the situation. In Japanese and Korean companies, which is following the collectivist culture, they are highly particularistic. That means they follow the collectivist culture. So they follow they give more importance to team, to groups, to relationships. to the environment. So they don't give much importance to rules, contract, procedure, etc. So they favor doing on-the-job training. That means those who are employed, they will even hire people who don't have experience, and then they put them on the job. And while on the job, they get trained, they get the necessary skill while they are on the job. So they even hire non-Japanese managers as expatriates who understands their culture, and they are able to manage their subsidiary operations well. So that is knowing yourself. The mother company should know itself first before it goes for the local responsiveness strategy, that is setting up local operations in different countries. Then knowing where you are, you should understand the host country wherever you are going to set up your local operations, which country it is, what is its environment, what kind of business practices, what are the HR practices over there, what are the local employees' needs over there, what are the customers' needs over there, what is the market situation over there, what is the business practices over there. So all this you should understand the host country environment also. So it should not be a problem like it happened for this US company which set up a subsidiary in Germany for welding machinery. So the American workers, they work on an average 58 hours. So they thought in Germany also, in their subsidiary, the employees would work for 58 hours. But in Germany, the HR, the labor law was workers should not work more than 38 hours. And if they work more than 48 hours, it will be considered illegal. And also the appraisal system which was followed in US was considered illegal in Germany. So ultimately this subsidiary, this US subsidiary, it had to close down in Germany. It suffered losses because it did not understand the host environment, that is the German environment, how different the work environment is there in Germany from their own country, their own mother country or home country, that is US. So that kind of problems MNC should avoid. They should understand the host country environment, what are the interrelationships there, what is the business behavior in different countries, what is the political system, legal laws, all market conditions, everything, HR practices, everything they should understand of different countries, particularly the host country where it wants to set up its subsidiary operations. So there are different forms of capitalism, that is different forms of business which is done in different parts of the world. So MNC should understand this, which are the different forms of capitalism or business which is done in different parts of the world. So you have Anglo-Saxon individualistic form, European large-scale form, European industrial district form, Japanese form, and the Chinese capitalist form. So what is this Anglo-Saxon individualistic form? This is mainly found in North America, where the main purpose is they want to give returns to shareholders. So since they are money-minded, they only want ROI. This will affect their employment, how they do employment, and what kind of HR practices they have. So everything will be focusing on giving returns to shareholders. So that is one type of business. Then European large-scale firm is a type of business found in European countries where the contract is not important, but social commitment is more important. Like employer makes a commitment to employee that he will provide him employment in return for his services, and he will get a salary. So that's a commitment. So they give more importance to such kind of commitments rather than to making money, getting returns on investment, or giving more importance to contracts. So, European Industrial District Form is a kind of networked organization which is found in Italy and Scandinavia. So, their main purpose is they want to give returns to the family owners. So, most of these European countries, these organizations, which follow the type of business which is European Industrial District Form, they are mostly family run businesses. So they want to give returns to the family owners, and they will have committed employees, skilled employees who are committed to the organization. So there will be long term employees who are working right from the beginning till retirement. They will be working in the same company, and they will be totally committed to that particular company which is run by a family. So that is another type of business. Then Japanese form of business is the main purpose is to give lifelong employment to their employees. So they care for their employees, and they make sure that once the employee has joined the organization, till he gets pension or retire, till then he will be working in the same organization. So job security, stable employment, that is what they want to give to their employees. They are not interested in ROI, they are not interested in profits. They want to give stable employment to their employees, lifelong employment. So a very complex system of operations these Japanese have, very complex way of coordinating and integrating their operations. So that is the Japanese form of business. Then Chinese capitalist form is again family run business. Most of them are family run business found in Taiwan, Hong Kong, Singapore, and in China, and they want to increase the wealth of the family owners. So they want to give more profits or more returns to the family owners. That is the Chinese capitalist form. So this is the different types of businesses in different parts of the world. So different capitalist forms which the MNC has to understand before they go for their local responsiveness strategy. So HR functions, if you see, there are two different aspects in European and American companies. So one is devolvement, that is HR is considered to be more the line manager's responsibility rather than the HR manager's responsibility. Second aspect which they consider is integration, where HR activities are closely integrated with the business activities. So this is the kind of HR functions having two aspects which is seen most in the European firms and in the American firms. So based on high integration or low integration, based on low devolvement or high devolvement. So high integration means HR practices are closely integrated with the business strategies and goals. Low integration means the HR practices are not based or integrated with the goals and strategies of the organization. Devolvement, when it is low, means it is not, the HR is not much of responsibility of the line manager. High devolvement means the line manager is more responsible for the HR practices in the company than the HR manager. So these are the different European concepts that you get: guarded strategist or policeman, which is high integration, and low devolvement. Professional mechanic is low integration and low devolvement. Pivotal or business partners is high integration and high devolvement. Low integration and high devolvement is Wild West. So this NFE, UKID, all these are abbreviations for different countries. Like UK is United Kingdom, S is Sweden, NL is Holland. So NL, Wild West, and Holland is Wild West. They have the Wild West kind of business. So all these are abbreviations. CH is Switzerland, D is Germany. So you find D, professional mechanic. In Germany, they have low integration and low devolvement. So like this, you can understand F is France. So all these are the abbreviations of different countries, which is mentioned in the next slide. So you can understand what are the HR functions which is there in all these European countries. What type of HR function is there in all these European countries? You can understand through this diagram. So professional mechanic kind of HR practice is high integration and low devolvement. That means HR activities are closely integrated with business activities, business strategies, and the line manager is not responsible to carry out the HR activities. So it is the functional experts, that is the HR experts who are carrying out the HR functions in such kind of companies which are following the professional mechanic type of HR function. So they give more importance to technical matters of employees, how technically qualified they are when they are selecting them, when they are deciding their salary, they see their technical qualification more. Then guarded strategist or policeman is a kind of HR function in European countries where high integration and low devolvement is there. So it's highly centralized control of all the HR practices. The European companies which are following this kind of HR function, it is highly centralized control of their HR practices. Recruitment and selection, development of employees, reward system, performance appraisal, everything is centrally controlled by the headquarters, by the top management, sorry. Then Wild West. Wild West kind of HR function is low integration. That means line manager is not responsible for HR activities. High devolvement means the line manager is responsible for the HR activities, and low integration means the HR activities are not integrated with the goals of the organization, business goals of the organization. So the line managers have to do the HR activities like recruiting, selection, development, rewarding, appraisal, everything, all the HR activities, it is the responsibility of line managers. Then pivotal or business partner kind of HR function is where high integration and high devolvement. So HR practices are integrated with business strategies, and the line manager is responsible for the HR practices. So here the line managers have to carry out all the HR practices in such kind of countries. So these are the different HR functions which the MNC has to understand in different European companies. So capital market based systems. Capital market you will find in all the developed countries like US, UK, Canada, all these developed countries, they follow the capital market system. So there are formal control systems. They have short-term goals. They don't believe in investing on human capital. They don't give importance to the employees' development, so they don't give importance to long-term goals. They want short-term goals. They are more materialistic. They want to make profit fast. They want to get returns fast. So when the profit falls for a company, the first cost cutting they will do is they will stop training and development of employees. So the first HR activity to get reduced because of the profits which have fallen in the company, which will face cost cutting. The first HR activity which will face cost cutting is T&D, training and development. So that shows they give no importance to their employees. Whereas credit-based systems you will find in developing countries like Japan, Germany, all these countries, long-term goals are important. They give more importance to relationship, work relationship. It can be relationship with supplier. It can be relationship with investors. It can be relationship with customers. It can be relationship with employees or with financiers. So the credit-based system, they give more importance to employees and employee relationship. So management development is influenced by the home country. So whichever home country the company is from, depending on that, the managers will be developed in the subsidiary. So suppose the home country is US, UK, then the career of the managers will be they will not face much development. They will not get specialized training in their subsidiary, and they will be moved from one job to another job. Whereas in Germany, which is collectivist culture, the managers will be given specialist training. They will be given specialized jobs, and they will work long term in each job. So that is the management development which you see difference in individualistic cultures and in collectivist cultures. So today's professional, he has to be more professional, he has to be more knowledge based, he should know the management practices in different countries. So MNCs can know all this today. What are the professional practices? What are the management practices in different countries? All they can know through computers, because internet has quickened all this. Internet has made it easy for MNCs to adapt to whichever host country they are going and setting up their subsidiary operations. So tomorrow we will take this topic, know who you talk to. That is how MNCs should do networking in the host country environment. They should understand how to network in different host countries. The way of communication is different in different countries. They should understand that first. So know who you talk to. We'll see it tomorrow's class. Okay, Priyanka is there. Harshita, Bhavana, Karthikeyan.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Divya.
Bhavana present, ma'am.
Yeah, I marked you. Divya,
Yes, ma'am.
Prakriti, Satish.
Present, ma'am. Prakriti
Present,
present,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah, I marked. Yogeshwari. Okay. So who's speaking today?
Me, ma'am.
Okay, Priyanka.
Arshita, ma'am, present. You didn't
Yeah,
call
yeah.
me.
I called you. I marked. Okay. Priyanka, you can start.
Yes, ma'am. Today I'm going to talk about Amazon.
Hmm.
Amazon is a multi-technology company wherein it is a US-based company. Initially, it was started in the year 1994 by Jeff Bezos. He started selling only books through online. It was only books was sold through online. Later on, uh, it came up with the fashion, and it also became a digital streaming technology. When it was only selling,
Yeah.
uh, yeah. When it was only selling books through online, there was a lot of competition between the other. There was no website as such like Amazon, but there was a store. There was a competition between the stores and the websites. Amazon, started giving 5% off on all the books where the customer if they purchase through online, and it got to know by the retail stores, and they even started giving competition by selling the books for $10 off and all. And Amazon initially came up with business to business, and then it turned to business to customer, and now it is customer to customers based company. And Amazon came to India on 2014. When it came to India, sorry, 14 or 14, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah. 14, when it came to India, there was no like nobody believed that things could be sold online, and there was other platforms also to sell their things online, but India thought it wasn't like it is time consuming, or it is not worth for paying online and buying things. And slowly, when Amazon came to India, it did a survey why it is not lacking behind in the digit, like selling online. And when it started serving, it came to know that there are more than 67% of um, citizens who are aged 35 and are ready to buy through online, and 65% of other citizens who are lacking behind the technology. And in that 65 and 67, only 35% were using the internet. That was the bad news for Amazon when it's started doing survey. Then later on, Amazon wanted to like come to the limelight and lead the online platforms. That is why it started. It started. You know, it start. Sorry, it started um, giving opportunities to the small sellers, and it gave offers also, saying it is an Amazon day. By few items were given for free also, all these, and now it is a leading company. And initially when Amazon started in India, there was no cash on delivery. Because of India to get to the nativity of the country, Amazon started cash on delivery also, because nobody believed in paying the amount and then getting the products. That is the reason Amazon started cash on delivery. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
okay, good. So tomorrow who will speak? Yogeshwari has spoken. Prakriti has spoken. Kartikeyan, will you speak tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So tomorrow you speak on any topic. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Okay then. Bye. All of you. Take care.